Hello, welcome back to Going Walkabout. A few weeks ago I was implementing the Flutter page view. It worked fine, except I couldn't scroll back, so I sort of got stuck. Today we're going to address the issue again and we're looking for a solution. After I get stuck, I threw the project in the corner for a while. That always helps. Just go and do something else and then suddenly a good idea pops up again. So what I started doing is, because the view also needed some animated Appbar, I started implementing the animation on the Appbar, because I knew I need to detect scroll position and maybe that would help me solving the problem as well. So let me show you what I did to first implement the animation of the Appbar and then also how that helped me fixing my scrolling back issue. Here we see the trip view, and the trip view is the widget that shows the trip. And the first thing I had to do here is to make it a stateful widget, because I need to keep track of the scroll position in order to do the animation, so I needed to maintain state. So I could give it a page controller, some variables for the animation, and I needed to create an animation controller, some colors, animation aspects to make sure that I could transition the color of the Appbar plus the transition of the icon colors. Now I initialize the state, I create my animation controller, I create here from transparent to white is the color, the background, and here the color from white to my brand color is the color of the icons. And those are the animation values, so to say, that I need to control. I also implemented an on-notification handler when scroll events occur. I'll show you later where I call that. And if it is vertical scrolling, I calculate some of the offset. I look at which page I am, because the animation of the Appbar only appears on the first page, where is page 0. And I call the animation controller and I animate to based on the number of pixels that I have been scrolling. So I use 250 pixels to go from, let's say, the starting position to the end position. And I work out the brightness, and that is especially for iOS important, the color of the status bar, because you only have black and white. And when I start out, I have a dark background image. The status bar is kind of white, or the text in the status bar is white. And then when I scroll, the Appbar becomes white, so the status bar text will disappear, and then I flip it to black. Now, here is actually where we are in the scaffold. We have the preserved site, that's the Appbar that is encapsulated in an animation builder. We'll get to that in a minute, but more important is here when I have the page view. Around the page view I put a notification listener, and I do that to detect the scroll position. So you look at the notification listener that has an on notification, and that calls the function that I showed before. And then it continues. I have my page controller. I need that to control the page. I'll show you in a minute. And page snapping, I built my header page and I built my post page. Now, that is all. The building of the pages hasn't changed. I put in some more functionality that we'll show in a minute, but overall the concept stayed the same. Now we go into that notification handler. That notification handler gets called when we scroll the page view. So if we are on page 0, then we animate the Appbar by calling the animation controller to animate to. And what that will do, it will actually animate from this color to that color, and we'll show that in action in a minute. But I also detect that if the page is not 0, so it's not the first page, but it's the second page, and we're in the list with post, it also gives me back notifications on the scrolling. So actually I'm on page 2 and I try to scroll back, it gives me a negative offset. And what I did, if the negative offset reaches 120, so it's kind of a pull, like what you would do for sort of a pull to refresh, then it would detect that, it will call the page controller and animate to page 0, and it does that with a little bit of duration and the curve, so it's kind of a smooth scrolling back, and that's exactly the behavior I wanted. Now, the little bit of a disadvantage is that when I pull, I don't see the first page appearing, but I think it is good enough for now, and it is a lot better than it used to be, so it's actually working quite nicely. Now, let me show you this all on the simulator. Here we have the simulator running. I go into the page, and this is actually the page that we're talking about. As you see, I have now a transparent Appbar here on top. And if I start scrolling this page, so well, the other direction of course, we'll see it already changing a little bit in context. We see it flipping to white, and now it is white, and we also see the status bar from white flipping to dark, and now it remains white it is, and it scrolls to the next page. Now this is what I wanted to achieve, the animation of that scroll bar. As you see, I also continued a little bit on making the whole view nicer, so it looks already quite complete now, and we can scroll back. Now we go back, we go back. Now we're at the list, and if we now start scrolling back, I pull back, we don't see anything happen, but after a while, boop, it flips back to the main page. So it is kind of snappy, because that's what we showed here. The page is then not 0, it's the page 1. The offset is less than 120 pixels scrolled, and we animate to page 2. So let's show that again. We can scroll and watch here the Appbar. We'll see it animating. We change the color, it goes to transparent, it's nicely black, it flips, and we scroll. And now if I go back, and once I reach the 120 pull back, it flips in, it shows slowly into screen. And this is actually a pretty good result. It is fairly similar to what I've done on iOS, and I'm quite happy with the result, because it is, at least I can scroll back, and it shows like smoothness. It's not rough, it works, and it's okay for now. And for now I also keep it the way it is. As I already showed you, I also worked on the post a little bit, but it's not actually that easy to make this layout, but I might go into that a little bit later. I can zoom in, we see the full post, and what is actually quite nice here, that I can zoom into the image, and I can swipe through the images of the post, and I can actually also do that at the moment. There it is. I can zoom in and show the picture, and I can go back and it animates it nicely, etc. So actually, from the whole viewing of the trip with the post and all the details, setting the cover image, what isn't implemented yet, but I can at least go to the point where I can go and set it, is done. So a lot of the user interface now is done. I have the scrolling working. What was a big milestone? It made me happy because I got stuck and I was a little bit disappointed and frustrated I couldn't solve it immediately, but it's done and it's ready to go and move into the next phase. So next, I will probably go and implement a lot of the functionalities that are behind here, because so far I've only been focusing on the user interface. Now, I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something, but I also learned that you can control and detect scrolling on your pages, and you can use that in your projects. And well, if you like it, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, wait for the next one, because it might be better for you. So I'll see you in the next video, and I'll thank you for watching.